It just scared me a little bit. But Mary Poppins in number 5. And number 4,
the birds.
Tuppence.
Tuppence.
Yes.
Tuppence.
That's a great voice.
Tuppence a bag. Okay.
There you go.
Read your bio.
There you go. And number 4.
It's your boy SoSo Juv, and we in the building. And welcome to another episode of the My 5 Cents podcast. Let me go ahead and introduce the cast of characters to my that way. I have HLS.
Habitual line step in the building. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, baby? You look good.
Good. Oh, thanks, man. You know, I got my fall colors on. You know, I'm just chilling in my grayish fall. Even though it's not the browns, not the greens, not the reds, but you know, it's like a gloomy mood right now when fall hits. So, you know, it's my gray. It's my gray.
Man of all colors. And to my bottom, I got not the logical genius. He's still on hiatus. He's still hiding, but we got the great MizChitChat. Welcome back.
Hey, what's going on? I'm so happy to be back, guys.
Yeah, happy to have you back.
Always happy to have you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I got y'all see my colorful artwork in the background. Some of the paintings I did myself back there with the wine and design. Don't be too wind up, or you won't have pictures like that. It'll look like a blob.
Yeah, you got your colors, I see. Kind of like HLS. Y'all are coloring fools. Okay, I get it.
So am I.
Yes. So let's go ahead and introduce the that person is, and that person is a professional actress currently living in southeastern Alabama. She graduated with a bachelor's degree in theater from Troy University in 2008. And after graduating, she worked at the Jewish Ensemble Theater near Detroit, and then she worked at the Flat Rock Playhouse in North Carolina. During a stint in NYC, she worked in TV, film, and off-Broadway and off-Broadway theater. Mm-hmm. Last year, she created her own YouTube show called The Aunt Nae Nae Show, which is a variety show for kids that includes songs, stories, jokes, educational content, and more. Please welcome to the My 5 Cents podcast, Megan Claire Murphy, a.k.a. Aunt Nae Nae. Welcome.
Hey, I'm Megan. Everybody else has something really cool to say, and I'm just like, hey, I'm Megan. But I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me as a guest.
No, thanks for coming through.
Happy to have you on. So let me start you off with the icebreaker. Aunt Nae Nae, what is your superpower, and how has it assisted you in your journey?
My superpower is spreading joy wherever I go. And it's helped me with the Aunt Nae Nae show. As long as I keep in mind that that's the real purpose of the Aunt Nae Nae show, is to make children happy and to bring joy to children. And yeah.
So tell me about that. How did you go from traveling all across the U.S. or up down the U.S. and ended up with this YouTube channel? What was the inspiration?
Well, first of all, I lived in New York City from 2012 to 2018. And then in 2018, I moved back home to Alabama for several reasons, personal and professional reasons. My acting career, and then the pandemic happened, and I stayed here for a little bit longer. And my acting career was honestly not going anywhere. There was nothing happening in my acting career. And so I decided to take things into my own hands and create my own content and make my own show. And I knew that if I was gonna make my own show, that it had to be a kid's show. I knew it had to be something for kids because I always loved kids, and I have a lot of experience working with kids. I used to be a summer camp counselor for many years. And so
you know all about kids. Yep.
And because I always say there's only two things I'm good at: acting and taking care of children. And so I decided to combine the two and make a kids show.
Smart. Now, when dealing with a kids show, right? When I watch back, when I think about all the things I watched as a kid, especially cartoons, there's a lot of adult humor in there that we missed, that wasn't supposed to be there. But as an adult now, when I'm watching these things with my daughter, I realize they need some adult jokes in there to keep the adults interested as well. How do you bridge the gap between childhood content and things for maybe adults to watch with their kids that they can enjoy it as well?
Well, I actually, on my YouTube channel, there's the Aunt Nae Nae show is a separate playlist on my YouTube channel, and all of the Aunt Nae Nae videos say made for kids. But there's a lot of other shorts and other videos on my YouTube channel that are not part of the Aunt Nae Nae show. And there's a lot. I do the joke of the day every day, and I do the outfit of the day almost every day. Just little 10-second shorts, every day. And so even if you don't have kids or you're not interested in kids programming, you can still find something that you'll like to watch on my YouTube channel. Most of it there's only like one video that has one curse word in it, but the rest of them are like rated G.
Nice.
Oh, we want to know what that one curse word was.
Yeah, and who
It's the
slipped
S
it?
word. It's in my acting reel. One of the first videos I ever posted to YouTube.
Yeah.
But that one's definitely not exactly for kids.
I would hope not.
I'm pretty sure kids have probably heard worse than that, but I'm just saying.
I mean, my nephew watched it
probably
and
not.
he didn't say anything. He was like, "Oh," I was like, "You're not supposed to say that word, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, I know." So
Yeah,
most kids don't,
Yes. So my question is, basically, I have a child with autism, so I watch all different types of content with her, and there's been so many times that she's found on YouTube herself something that I wouldn't have thought was uh she would be interested in. Like, she's watched the Muppets. She knows what Fraggle Rock is. I'm like, wait a minute, that's from my era. So how do you keep your content like vibrant enough for 2024, but still being able to reach all different kinds of levels?
I think, okay, how to keep it up to vibrant for 2024. Like, for example, last week I did nursery rhymes, but I did them rap style.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hickory dickory dock, the mouse went
Mm-hmm.
up the clock. The clock struck one, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock. I kind of did it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
love
so
it.
I tried to bring like modern hip hop into the kids show.
Nice.
And most of the content on the Aunt Nae Nae show is mostly nostalgic because my the per, I'm trying to emulate Mr. Rogers and harken back to that era. Like, my dream is to have a popular show on a network like PBS, like Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street. But you brought up a good point. I'm gonna try to do more things for like kids, like autistic kids might like, and I'm gonna try to bring the old school things back into the modern spin on them, like a modern style. So I'll try to do that more. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
So, Beyonce has her alter ego, right? You have Sasha Fierce, right?
Yeah.
Diddy has his alter ego, Brother Love, right? He's
Let's,
doing the big. I don't
let's
know,
not talk about Diddy right now. Let's not do that.
right?
Oh yeah.
So where did the inspiration of Aunt Nae Nae come from? Like, and how do you, I guess, differentiate between Megan Murphy and Aunt Nae Nae?
Well, I am also not only Aunt Nae Nae on the Aunt Nae Nae show, but I'm also Aunt Nae Nae in real life because I have a 7-year-old nephew who calls me Aunt Nae Nae.
Nice.
And so sometimes he calls me Aunt Megan, and I'm like, no, it's Aunt Nae Nae.
There you go.
You call me Aunt Nae Nae.
There you go. There you go.
I love
HLS
it.
has an alter ego. It's called Big Brother Jackass. It's a long story, but like, yeah, he did
Yeah.
something to me while we were in Brazil. You know, just
You keep. I think you need therapy
Wow.
because you keep bringing up Brazil. Why do
Yes,
you do that? Why?
because I was traumatized. Trauma. That's
Listen, it was an experience. We lived it. We have a great story to tell. I changed your
we
life.
do. We
I
do.
changed your life.
So with experiences, trauma, childhood, I guess it's all combining to go and segue into our next segment, which is our 5 cents on the topic of the day. And the topic for today is what, HLS?
It's favorite childhood movies.
Great. And what's going to happen, Megan, is we are going to present to you our list, our 5 cents on the topic. Then we'll get into something we call a little cross-examination, and you're going to have to decide who's in third place and who's in first place. Ultimately, that is the show right there. And HLS, please explain to Aunt Nae Nae, what is the criteria for judging?
So here's the interesting part. Hey, Nene, aka Megan. When you have a YouTube channel, you said it's for a certain age group, right? It's for kids 8 and younger, right? There's certain things you can't do, like you can't curse, you don't want to show nudity or anything. It's for kids. This criteria you have to follow for your YouTube channel. But for this, there's none of that. You might like the fact that I have a friend who I call Aunt Nae Nae sometimes, and that's why he may choose me as number 1.
Ooh, you stole my line. That is great because I have a friend named Aunt Nae Nae as well.
Wait,
My
don't fall
goodness.
for it. They're snoozing right now. They're snoozing, Megan. Don't fall for it.
I'm like, I don't get it. What's so funny?
Megan, you know what? You might like the fact that I had a crush in college on a girl named Megan.
Okay. A lot of people are named Megan. I had a friend named Megan. I had
you might
4
like
friends
that.
named Megan.
You might like the fact that, right, because that was probably the popular name when the year you were born. Everybody, right? So, you might like the fact that I don't even know that many people named Megan. I might know a Nae Nae. She's from around the way. That's it.
She's from around the way.
That's it.
But the point is, Megan, at the end of the day, the criteria is all up to you. Whatever you decide, it's completely up to you. But your first test now.
Every Nae Nae that I knew, they were. That's the only thing I know for Nae Naes.
Your test now is you get to decide who goes first.
MizChitChat.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. See, Nae Nae, she know. Well, my childhood videos, you might not know, I'm 51 years old. So my childhood was like in the 70s and 80s. So I'm like ancient, okay? As far as 8-year-olds are concerned. Yeah. So my top 5 movies, hopefully there's some movies that you know. My top 1 is Goonies. I love Goonies. It was one of my favorite ones. The characters, I was a kid growing up in the suburbs. They was growing up in the suburbs. They were just funny one-liners, and each character I loved. Chunk is my favorite one. That was Goonies was my top favorite movie. See, you know it. You know it. Number 2, my second favorite childhood movie was E.T. That was the first movie that my mom took us. We were it was she had 3 children, so she took us to the movies to see it. We didn't have to wait until it came on VHS or anything like that. We went to the movies to see it. So it was like an adventure, adventure going to the movies, taking 3 kids. She packed all the snacks in her pocketbook and took us to the movies. So that was a big deal to go see E.T., the extraterrestrial. Like we just knew it was the best one. And I believe that was the only one I cried at.
You
Number
softy.
3, Stan. I know, I was so emotional. And then number 3 was Stand By Me. Stand By Me, they ran away and they were like the bad kids. They were the misfits. They were the original Stranger Things. I loved them. So I just love Stand By Me. That was one of my favorite movies, and they tackled so many different subjects in that movie. And as I grew up, I understood, like, oh wow, that's why why he acted like this. His father was mean to him. Like, it was just a lot of stuff. Number 4, Gremlins. Oh my goodness. They were cute, but they were terrible. Don't feed them. It was so many rules. I just loved it. It was just everything. And I love the bad Gremlins. I love Stripe, and I also love, yeah. Okay. So Gremlins was number 4. And then number 5, Back to the Future. I loved Back to the Future because and I couldn't believe it was made in 1984. But anyway, I loved it because I like Marty McFly. Of course, am I going down in and out? There it is. Okay. I love Marty McFly. I love the actor, Michael Keaton. I just loved Christopher Lloyd. I love the whole thing about the movie. And I can still watch it today and still see something different that I didn't see from my childhood.
Michael
Those
J.
are my
Fox.
top
Michael J.
5.
Fox, not Michael Keaton. Okay.
There you go. I said Michael Keaton. Yeah, Michael J. Fox. Yeah,
I got you. I
it
got
was
you
the
back.
3
I
name
got you
thing.
back.
It's the 3 name. Michael. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I got you. I got you. So Megan, who do you want to hear from next?
SoSo?
In the building. So here we go. This is my 5 cents on the topic of best childhood movies. And at number 5, I mean, you can't have a day off if you're not talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And just that parade scene, the twist and shout, who didn't want a day off like Ferris Bueller's? At number 4, you never heard of the Sultan of SWAT? The Titan of Terror? The Colossus of Clout? The Colossus of Clout? The King of Crash, man. We talk about Sandlot, which really, I think the best line might have been forever. Just everything about that had everything that you needed in a childhood movie. At number 3, this one's another great line in the movie, and that is, boys have a penis and girls have a vagina. And that is Kindergarten Cop. It's not a tumor. Somehow, some way, we always bring Arnold Schwarzenegger into this show somehow, some way, but it's not a tumor. Kindergarten Cop at number 3. At number 2, if you ever tried this in a fight, you would probably get your ass kicked. And that's Karate Kid, who didn't do the little crane thing and thought like, yeah, I'm ready to beat somebody up with this kick that is nonsensical in a fight. But somehow it ended up working. And at number 1, maybe my favorite musical ever. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Yes. I'm talking Little Mermaid, number 1 all-time childhood movie. It set off Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Lion King. They were able to be successful because of Little Mermaid. And that right there is my 5 cents on the topic. What you're going to listen to next is HLS, who's probably going to give you his top 5 porn movies.
Listen, if I watched porn as a child, then it's my favorite childhood movie. Let's just make that clear, okay? So
Megan's turned off already. She's like, oh no, this list here is going in the trash.
So let me tell you, Megan. So I'm a Gen X. So my childhood might be different than MizChitChat's than SoSo Juv's, right? Because our age gap is a little bit different. But mine is weird, right? So I have a mix of a fantasy in mine and like brotherhood and togetherness. So it all kind of merges in all together, right? So number 5, and also side note, all my movies have rewatchability. Crazy, crazy. And number 5,
Just know when you have to explain the list, you know it's a trash list.
I need to set it up. I need to set it up. Can I set up my list?
Just know this, Megan.
Let me set it up. And number 5, it was fantasy mixed with reality, and like you didn't know where the line was blurred. It's Mary Poppins. It's Mary Poppins. I love it.
That's one
it's one of your favorites too. It's an amazing movie. You have the musical, you have the dancing, you have the walking penguins. But there was one scene that always scared me as a kid, and that's when the little bird was feeding the birds tuppence. I don't know. That scene was just dark, and it just scared me a little bit. But Mary Poppins in number 5, and number 4,
the birds. Tuppence.
Yes.
Tuppence.
That's a great voice.
Tuppence a bag. Okay.
There you go.
Read your bio.
There you go. And number 4, again, another fantasy mixed with reality. And this one had like heroes and sword fighting and giants. It's The Princess Bride. Yeah, the love story. You had a movie back when before she left Forest and died of AIDS. Robin Wright Penn was the star of The Princess Bride, where she was just a lovable woman that Carrie was trying to find and going on these adventures and besting giants and besting guys who had like the great mind, besting sword fighting. You had that great line, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepared to die." Great movie. Great movie. And number 3, I had another musical, right? And I remember watching this like on Saturday mornings for some reason. And it was like, I shouldn't celebrate this movie because it was about like, thievery and maybe like gang culture in a small way, but I loved it still. Oliver. It's about this little boy that got wrapped up into these other pickpocket thieves. Like he went to this house, old boy's house, and they teach him how to be a better pickpocket. But they made it so fun. I remember going around my house trying to get my father's wallet. I wasn't good, but I was trying to be like Oliver, a little lost boy trying to pickpocket, trying to be part of this little boy gang. And number 2, again, remember I said my stuff was fantasies? I watched this. This came out in '85, and I was still young. And I watched it because I thought this was what high school was really like, right? It was The Breakfast Club, right? I watched it as a kid, and I'm watching it. It starred like people from the Rat Pack back then. You had the Brat Pack. You had the Rat Pack. You had the other ones with Emilio Estevez. You had not Philip Michael Thomas. The other guy named with 3 names. But anyway, The Breakfast Club. It's about these 5 kids that had to spend detention at school on a Saturday. You had the jock, you had the misfit, you had the beauty queen, and like they covered so many different topics about fitting in, about togetherness, about trying to be cool, trying to be fake. You don't have to be fake. You just kind of be yourself. And they all kind of left that school that day like we're all better people because we spent this one day learning about each other. And I thought that's what high school was really like when I was watching it as a young kid. And then number 1, you've heard it before. Again, fantasy mixed with reality, The Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
The Goonies. You have these kids living this, hey, my house is about to get taken. Let's go on this one adventure. We'll have to move and get separated. That's real. Then they go in this fantasy world under the ground, and they find ships and pirates and One-Eyed Willie. Oh, good. Yeah, Data with this blocks and gums spring and all these. It was like the young kids' version of Indiana Jones, and I loved it. I thought it was great. And that, Megan, is my 5 cents on the best childhood movies that I've ever seen.
Thank you, thank you. You've all given me a lot to consider.
Yes. And while you consider that, we're going to go ahead and check in next week to see who it is that she decides is in third place and who is our champion for this episode. So I
I'm
will
supposed to come back next week.
Yeah, next week. We
Next
get to
week,
come
next
back
week.
and do this all again where we get into a little cross-examination. So until then, that is our 5 cents.